I guess even though we were free, we were still slaves in the mind.
Message!
Welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Know Yourself Academy. It's your guy Boro, the Lucky Libra here. And today, as you can see by the title, we're going to be continuing the Moon Sign series, and we're going to be getting into the Taurus Moon Sign, all right? Now, if you haven't checked out the Taurus Zodiac Sign Archetype video, you need to go ahead and click the link in the description box below. You want to check out that energy so you can already be, educated on the energies of a Taurus, because each zodiac sign has its own archetype, and in these archetype videos I break down what energies, aka like the planets that's home there and the house that it came out of, and all these things, how this energy came to be about, because every zodiac sign was birthed out of a house. Aries came out the first house, Taurus came out the second house, Gemini came out the third house, Cancer came out the fourth house, and so on. So it's one thing I want you guys to understand and emphasize is we got to learn the houses, and we have to understand that there are energy archetypes to the things we're talking about. We're not just getting on here saying Taurus moon sign is this, then the third, and you're sitting there to figure out why they're like that. All right, so now let's get into it. So first we want to check out that Taurus sign video. Now, what is a moon sign? What is a moon sign? All right, so we know our sun sign is our appearance, our natural actions, how we see things, all right, how we see things in others, depending on what your sign is. So your moon sign is everything inside of the sun. The moon motivates the sun to take out action. The moon is your feelings, emotions, and your thoughts, right? The internal world, how you respond and react to things, all right? The moon, the moon goes through its phases. It's waxing, it's waning, it's shedding, and then it's eating up energy, eating up spirits, all right? So it's going through its phases, but it's reacting and responding to the solar system and the planets and the sun. It's transparent, it's bouncing off the light of the sun. So it's responding and reacting to things, all right? So depending on where your moon is at, it's going to show how you respond and react to things. And at the end of the day, the moon is who you truly are, all right? Now, Taurus moon sign, all right? So, just a quick overview. We're going to go over the, just briefly run down the archetype of Taurus, and then we're going to join that with the moon so you guys see how them things come together to make the Taurus moon sign archetype. So, first, Taurus is fixed earth. Okay, so we know modalities. A sign is either cardinal, fixed, or mutable. In this case, Taurus is fixed earth, and when you're fixed, you have a fixed way of seeing, feeling, and thinking about something, right? But we're dealing with earth, so this is dealing with thinking, practicality, and logic, making sense of things, right? So when you have fixed earth, Tauruses have their fixed way when it comes to using their logic and using their practicality and trying to make sense of it, all right? So this is why you can't just bring any business plan to a Taurus, and this is why, they're not just gonna jump on any program, because they have a fixed way. They're already working on watering something or working on planting a certain seed that they feel like is going to be a secure, structured move for them. They're not with the chaotic shit. They're not with just going into any plan without a strong, self-esteem of a plan behind it and some type of structure. They don't like that transformative shit, right? So this is a Taurus just based off the element and modality. Have a fixed ways of being practical and logical, all right? So you got that. So when you throw the moon in with that, a Taurus emotionally can be, and that's the thing, we're not dealing with emotions when we're talking about the Taurus, because it's earth. All right, earth sign is not dealing with emotions. We know earth is dealing with practicality and logic. Air is dealing with logic and communication. All right, fire is dealing with seeing and feeling. Water is dealing with feeling and emotions. All right, so when we talk about the Taurus zodiac sign, Taurus in itself, the energy itself is not dealing with emotions, but we're talking about the Taurus moon. So when we have a fixed earth and the moon, you can have somebody that doesn't budge emotionally, stays real fixed, and tries to make, whenever you have moon, this is the thing, whenever you have moon in a earth sign or an air sign, understand this is going to be a person that's quote unquote emotionally unavailable, doesn't express their emotions. This is not somebody that even if they have a water or earth sun, it's gonna moderate the sun, because the moon motivates the sun. Okay, so two people could be Virgo moons, but one person could be an Aquarius sun, another person could be a Gemini sun. They both feel the same way about a lot of things, but they're gonna push it out. One is gonna push it out through the Gemini way, and one is gonna push it out through the Aquarius way. So this is what the moon is doing, is motivating the sun, because the moon is who you truly are, but the sun is our appearance, our natural actions, how we act on things. How we act on things. All right. Each 12 signs act on things differently. Okay. How we see things. So when you have the moon here, it's fixed with his emotions. And whenever you have the moon in earth or air, like I said, you're dealing with an emotionally a reserved person. And especially earth moons, and I could speak for myself, I'm an earth moon, I'm a Capricorn moon, and that's a debilitation. The moon don't like to be in Capricorn. So what we do when we have the moon in earth, remember, everything in earth is dealing with logic and practicality. So we take our emotions and feelings. When we catch an emotion, catch a feeling, we take that, we look at it like it's an object. Like we try to make sense of it. Or like, all right, what is this? Why do I feel like this? How can I prevent feeling like this if I don't like feeling like this? What can I use this towards? Where could I put this? All right, let me store this here. This is the mind of an earth moon. So when you have Taurus moons, they're gonna do this, especially because they also ruled by Venus. So we can get materialistic here, because we know Venus deals with what we love, what we choose to indulge in, our pleasures, where we want to get supported and where we support. All right, but where we may overindulge. Okay, so when you have Venus here and then the earth element, we could get the emotionally fixed towards our relationships with material things, right? And then we could start to even, Taurus moon could even view certain relationships. This is Taurus energy in general, but a Taurus moon can view a relationship as something that brings it emotional security. And not just the relationship, but the things this person may bring in a relationship, material, financially. All right. So it's good for earth people with a lot of earth in their chart, especially earth moons and especially Capricorn moons, not to you don't want to start materializing people. And well, Capricorn moons, let me not say materialize people. Capricorn moons just look at people as workers, and they could be a little too cold. But Taurus moon can start looking at everything as a thing. No, this thing has feelings. This thing has thoughts. Like, not everything is just a physical possession of something. As a Taurus moon or a Taurus period, you gotta understand these things. All right, so that's how that aspect could work out. So guys, be careful of being too materialistic. And want to check yourself to see when you're being too stubborn or too closed-minded sometimes. Now, Pluto falls in Taurus, right? Pluto falls in Taurus. So a Taurus moon, Taurus don't like being, like I said, they like being fixed. They don't like being transformed and going through chaotic situations. They're about structure, being planted, that motherfucking tree that's planted. All right, we ain't gonna budge for nothing. All right, because we gotta go, and we trying to manifest comfortability and whatnot. But you don't want to be, as a Taurus, you want to be too planted. And emotionally, could be like a Taurus could be like emotionally stubborn, just fixed towards the things they want to they're working on and they're growing on. And even to the point where it's like this thing may not be helping or growing in the right way, but you're so fixed that you don't want to transform the whole process or start a new process or anything. And this is where a water sign, an air sign could come in and either breathe some air into that earth, loosen it up so it can start molding and take different shape or form, or water could come in and flow through the creases and add a new vibration and loosen it up and let it take shape or form. All right, so this is why all elements, they have their interactions that change us and mold us in different ways. All right, so Taurus moons, and shit, I don't know how I waited this long to get to the video, but I just had certain bullets and I just want to make sure I do things in a certain order, because I realized my certain videos I could just take off. I don't know what my original point was, and I don't like delivering information in an unorganized manner. So the moon is exalted in Taurus, right? The moon is exalted in Taurus. So like I said, moon signs in earth may not be, they're not going to be necessarily emotional like that, depending on how much fire, water they have in their chart, depending on how much planets, how much fire and water earth houses they have filled up. Generally they're not going to be the emotional type. But Taurus moons, the moon is exalted in Taurus. So Taurus is the constellation where the moon kicks off its spring. You feel me? And a Taurus, see, the moon, first of all, the earth is ruled by Taurus, right? The earth that we live in is ruled by Taurus. So it's dealing with, the earth element. Like I said, we already know the earth element structure, foundation, time, and working on something, right? Stability. But when you throw the moon in here, being exalted in Taurus, the moon, whenever a planet is exalted, this is where we can exhaust itself, because this is the moon's favorite place to be. When it's not in Cancer, at home in Cancer, Taurus is the moon's favorite place to be. All right, so when it gets here, it gets to jump into its wildest dreams, do all the things that it always loves to do. But when we're in this type of environment, this is where we can exhaust ourselves. So with the moon and being exalted in Taurus, a Taurus moon can overdo responding and reacting to material things, overdo responding and reacting to, they're relating to material things, because you have that Venus Earth influence here and that element mixture. So it's like these are the things you're responding and reacting to. You're responding and reacting to straight practicality, responding and reacting to straight like there's like you like a feeling and emotional the emotional output of somebody else. Venus modifies it, like I said, because Venus, Earth ain't dealing with feelings, and you feel me, and Tauruses are not dealing with other people's feelings, but they have a relatable energy because they're ruled by Venus, so they will be relatable on a logical level with you, just on certain things. But the moon is going to make you not overindulge, respond and react to these things, but overdo it. Matter of fact, I'm right. You will overindulge and overexhaust yourself in trying to respond and react to material things. Overindulge putting certain possessions, people, places, and things, and just boxing them into possessions. Overindulge to having so much emotional boxes and just putting them in little boxes and shit, and not expressing them or using them in a certain outlet. So these are things you got to be aware of as a Taurus moon. Okay, but shit, as a Taurus moon, you get a lot of support for you're gonna have like material resources. You may always have certain work career opportunities from a young age. People always handing out resources, people surrounding you with resources. And because you have this support, a Taurus moon has to be aware of not always leaning on the support, acting like it's always going to be there, because that's the thing with the moon there, you overexhaust yourself in these things. So it's like you may think that a resource is always going to be there, or a person, a place, or thing is always going to be there for you when you need it. And then Taurus moons have situations where they feel a little crazy, or they feel a little chaotic, don't know what to do, or frustrated because that thing they thought they always had was always going to be there, that they took advantage of, ain't there no more. And they have to learn to structure things on their own, without that support. So that's, just one thing about Taurus moons. But, these people are some of the best gift givers. Tauruses and Taurus moons, some of the best gift givers. And there's a real nurturing energy there. May not be emotional, but they like to nurture through possession. So like if you have a parent that's like a Taurus moon or something, you may not feel the emotional connection, but they feel like, I got a head on your roof. I provide you with resources to, go to college and do the things you want to do with your personal endeavors. I provide this security. This is how a Taurus moon thinks. This is how I love and relate to you. So if you're dating a Taurus moon or somebody with moon and earth, you got to understand these things, or somebody moon and air. They may not love you super emotionally expressive the way you may want to receive it as a fire water sign, or if you're like a air or earth sign that's dealing with more so expressing your emotions, right? So you got to understand, you got to know the energies of people you're relating and dating to, because somebody could love the fuck out of you, and you don't think so because the way they show their love, right? So let's not make that mistake and put certain people in boxes and learn their energies. But for the most part, that's the Taurus moon, all right? And those are all the energies that make up the archetype of the Taurus moon. Like I said, we want to break down why Taurus moons do certain things, why this sign responds and reacts to certain things, or see or feels about certain things a certain way, instead of just saying they do that, because there's a lot of stereotypes in astrology that are real and that are very true, very likely, and are not likely. But for the ones that are, let's break down why they're like that. All right, So you already know what it is, man. Like, share, subscribe. I hope you have elevated some knowledge for you Taurus moons or anybody that's just trying to learn about astrology and the Taurus moons and Tauruses around them. All right, stay tuned. Next episode, we get into the Cancer moon. You already know what it is, fam. Peace.